Hey everybody, just wanted to do a quick video of a project that I had just completed. Actually, I completed it a couple days ago, and just trying to get some time to set aside to do a video. Anyway, this is a video of a device that I will be using as a secondary device for my everyday carry. Normally, for work purposes, I carry two laptops. I carry one primary and one secondary, in that two is one is none mentality. And in the event that my primary laptop ever goes down, I have obviously my secondary to work off of. But anyway, I've been thinking lately about moving to a touchpad as my secondary, since it's critical to have, but I have a little more wiggle room to experiment and try out a new different platform. But the prices of touchpads are still pretty untouchable for me. They're, even at $100 or a couple $100, it's still pretty expensive. I have this first gen iPod Touch just sitting around, and I've got several iPods, and this one's sort of obsolete, and it doesn't really do much of anything, so I decided to repurpose it as a touchpad. But there is one slight defect with this device, in that on the board itself, it's got an issue regulating power. A little backstory behind it: I've sent this device out to get the battery replaced, and while it got replaced, they did a diagnostics of it. And they said, according to their diagnostics, there's an issue with the board itself. There's a piece on the board that regulates the power, and that even if you have a brand new Li-ion battery and everything's kosher, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do right, which is regulate. So, long story short, instead of charging this fully and having several days to have a good power source, it's probably about 7 hours before it becomes completely drained from full charge. Anyway, so I needed to make this more reliable. What I did was I came up with another, like a secondary power supply to this device to go along with the internal battery. And what I did was I basically took a Minty Boost and purposed it for this device. Now, for those of you guys that don't know what a Minty Boost is, it's a little open source device that is used to take 3 volts, two AA 1.5 volt batteries, and it bumps up the power to around 5-ish volts. And what that does is these iPods are designed that at 5 volts, or between 4.9 and 5.3, I believe, it will go into charge mode. Anything below, I think it's 5 or 4, anything below 4 volts, it won't recognize as a charging source, like a wall wart, and basically it won't charge. So I needed to bump up the power to something that this device could recognize, and what the Minty Boost does, obviously, bumps it up to a voltage that the iPod will recognize. Not only will it recognize, but it also does what it's supposed to do, which is charge. Let me turn this around. So I decided to use an Altoids tin for this. The way this is mounted is I've used it came with, or it didn't come with, but I've had this transparent case for a good while, and what I did was I mounted it with 4 set screws and some epoxy, and you really can't see it unless you take the iPod out. So the iPod itself isn't damaged or touched in any, or altered in any way. It's the actual case that was, had all the work done to it. So that's there, and I'm going to see if I can do this with one hand. There we go. So here we go. Here's the guts of it. I'm going to explain why this is here in a second, but essentially this is, there we go. Essentially this is what you got. You've got the Minty Boost right here, which is the device that takes the power and bumps it up to 5 volts. And you've got, instead of me using 2 AA batteries to give 3 volts, what I did was I used a Li-ion battery. This is a Lithium Ion. I think this is a BlackBerry C-S2 battery. This is your traditional, regular, spec'd out 3.7 Li-ion battery. It's nothing special. It's just a normal battery. It's the same kind of battery that you would have in a cell phone. Sorry about that. Here we go. I decided to use this battery mainly because, well, I've got a parts box that's full of junk, and this was an item that I had that was just laying around. The Minty Boost was an item that I had in another project. So essentially all the stuff that I had is free. So I didn't really pay a dime, and I didn't want to go into this with having to commit myself to battery expenditures. Even if I got rechargeable batteries, I would still have to go out and buy the rechargeable batteries. I'd have to buy the recharger, and for this little project, I didn't want to pay a dime. So this is all stuff that was in my parts box. So anyway, it works fine. It does what it's supposed to do. At the end of the day, I just pop this out of its holder and I stick it in the battery charger, which I also had, and it charges it up fine. No issues there. What this guy is right here is this is a secondary battery to my primary backup battery. 2 is 1, 1 is none. Remember, so from full drain to charge, when I click this on, this battery will drain out at it'll charge the device up 50% before it becomes completely drained. So theoretically, if I ran the device out, I can use both these batteries to bring this up to full charge again. So anywho, and the way this is fitted in, it fits in just like this device. It just sort of like locks into place. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. I don't think I can. Come on. It's kind of tight in there. There we go. So it's, see, there it is. And it just friction fits in place, or it locks in place. I can't do this with one hand apparently. I'm not coordinated enough. I gotta channel my monkey powers. Hold on a second. Okay, it's about as close as I can do it right now with one hand. I'll fix it later. So on this side right here, I've got a rocker switch. It's just a simple Walmart Radio Shack rocker switch. There's nothing special with that. This is a speaker right here. The first gen iPods do not have an internal speaker built inside, so what I had to do was, and I didn't want to carry around headphones with me because I wanted to make this an all-in-one unit, and I had enough space in this case to make something. What I did was I took a pair of headphones, I cut the earbud off, and I threaded it through and soldered it to a, I think this went from a cell phone, I don't know. It was another item in my Starbucks box. Anyway, I just soldered it to the speaker. I stuck some JB Weld in here, and that's it. Since I'm really going to be the only one looking in this, it doesn't matter how it looks to me. It's, as long as I can, work on it if I need to, and there's enough space for me to do stuff, I'm okay. It's not going to win any awards. Anyway, so there we go. There's the screws that mount to the that clear plastic frame. So button it up, and there's the sound holes right here, and here's the rocker switch. So let me give you a brief demonstration right here. So I'm going to hit that. That shows that it's alive and running, and it's doing its iPod type thing. It's already fully charged, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to initiate the charging mode. So I'm going to take the rocker switch. There we go. So now it goes into charging mode. Since it's already at full charge, there really isn't any charging going on, I guess. It's just sort of there. But I'm going to take it off. And there you go. So that's about it. And it's a little bit thicker than what most people, even with a touchpad, it's a lot thicker than most touchpads out there, than all touchpads out there. But like I said, this was free. I had the items already available, and I didn't want a defect preventing me from using this device the way I wanted it to. So I found a resolution to work around the problem. I did it by myself. I mean, I can buy a add-on power supply. They sell them. They just click right in. But I didn't want to spend any money to the problem, or any money to resolve the problem. I just wanted to use my brains to figure it out. So there you go in a nutshell. It's pretty reliable. I use it all the time, actually. Well, not all the time. For the last 3 days, I've been using it. I've been making notes and stuff. And there's no music. There's no music on here. No, get away. There's no music on here. I've been using the notes feature a lot, and when I'm at work, I surf online just to make sure that all is kosher. But yeah, it was doing nothing. I decided to use it for something.